All right, we are recording. All right, everybody. So, we left off where you were given a task, or a quest, from a guy named Doravar from the Elf Song Tavern in Baldur's Gate. He believes that his town is cursed, and he's looking for a sage named Matreus who specializes in curses. So he would like you to find Matreus. He discovered that Matreus' last known location was Candlekeep.
Is he a Betrayus?
What's that?
Is Matreus a Betrayus? No, that's being silly.
Is he Betrayus? That's his brother.
Is he a Betrayus? Okay.
Apparently he has a brother named Betrayus. So he hired you, I guess, or asked you and said he would pay whatever he could to go and see if you can find Matreus, and please have him come to Helmsfirth and meet with Doravar.
Whatever he could. No, it was 50 gold. It was 50 gold pieces.
Yes.
Not whatever he could pay us. Nonsense like that.
Well, he scrounged up whatever he could, since the economy's not doing so well there, and 50 gold pieces is a lot, but it's worth it for him, and that's probably his life savings. So, or their life. I don't know. It's probably not his life savings. Maybe he was.
Are you making him feel guilty? Are you making me feel guilty about taking his money?
Well, you didn't get his money yet.
Okay. That's right.
Also, this is Luke's druid, not the rogue, so, I don't know. Maybe your druid's more okay, not accepting money?
Yeah,
maybe you're more pro bono?
I'm chaotic neutral all the way.
Oh, so Fred is not happy. Would not be happy with that sentiment either.
I would think druids are more pro bono, but, I guess I'm wrong.
I'm an artisan, too. My time is money.
Corrupted by the city.
So you've been traveling for a few days while you were en route to Candlekeep. You were overrun. I shouldn't say overrun too badly by some bandits.
I was.
Had a little bit of a fight, a little dicey at times, but you managed to turn the tide of that fight and win the fight. You continued on, and we left off where you branched off from the main road that went south along the sword coastline to another road that's called the Way of the Lion, which takes you to in the distance you saw actually from a pretty far distance you could see the majesty of the citadel. So as you travel towards your destination, you begin to see from a distance the majestic site of Candlekeep, a massive citadel atop a protruding peninsula overlooking the rough waters of the Sea of Swords. As you approach, you are met with a long, narrow pathway that acts as a bridge to the tall gates of Candlekeep. You can easily peer over the high cliffs bordering this pathway on both sides. It's a long way down as you hear the waves of the sea crashing against the rock walls. As you approach the gate, you realize that the gate is roughly 3 times the height of a human. And at the front gate is a bell.
Ding dong.
Well, it's one of those ding ding. It's like a bang.
Push the button.
It's like Lurch.
You rang.
You rang.
Yeah.
I only wish there was just a giant foghorn you have to blow into.
So you notice this gate kind of has a couple of latches. There's a somewhat of a mailboxy looking type of a latch where you can slip things through, and you can kind of see, I guess behind the gate to some degree. There's the gates are like these the big kind of like slat type things, and you can kind of see through, and you see people walking by. Not close to the gate, but just, it's a big citadel with a big courtyard. You can kind of see inside. Well, what would you like to do? You made it here to Candlekeep.
I
Shall
feel
we?
like we've rung the bell based on the sheer
Yeah, let's
lurch
ring the bell.
impressions that we've done.
You sure?
Yeah.
You want to ring the bell? Ding, 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 ding.
No,
Is there,
you know
is
what?
there,
Okay.
is there a sign
We're
that
not going to
says
Candlekeep anymore.
instruction?
We're gonna go.
Exactly. We're going to decide. Yeah, we're just going to go for the deep path.
We just decide that, who needs Candlekeep?
We don't need Candlekeep.
All
We'll
right.
keep the book for ourselves. That's a reward for making it this far.
The
We're gonna
GM
head
is
to Tog.
consistent. It's a trap. Let's go.
We're going to find our way back to
Yeah.
Cog.
So a man walks to the gate, and he's kind of he's wearing robes. Actually, kind of nice robes, but not too nice. They're definitely kind of on the conservative nature. They're kind of like these gray and purpley flowing robes. And he looks.
Orc bones in them.
I'm sorry.
Do they have orc bones in them?
No,
It's just as.
no. This isn't bizarre. He comes to the door and he says, "Please state your names and your business." Sounds like bizarre because that's my voice.
Does anybody want to take lead?
I elbow.
All right. I'm the local
Yildren?
good guy.
Oh wait, I have the book. Yeah. So
I elbow Yildren.
yeah. Whoops. Yeah, we brought this book here. We heard you have to pay in books to get in. We're looking for. Hold up. Matreus? Is that? I
Matreus.
wrote this down somewhere.
Matreus.
Matreus.
Yeah, Matreus. We're looking for a sage
Matreus.
named Matreus. Dorvor sent us.
I don't know if I know who Doravor is, but I don't think I know who Matreus is either. But we can probably find out. We have a roster. A log, I should say. So, if you wish to gain entry, we do require a piece of writing. And of course, it has to be something that is not currently in our possession. Would you mind putting it through the little slit?
I'll place.
He lifts up the little latch and
I'll,
I don't know.
thing opens
I don't
up.
know if we want to give up this book. It looks really interesting. I haven't even finished it
I
yet.
mean, I read through it. I know
tell me
most
the
of
end.
it.
Don't tell me the end.
It's a cookbook.
Uh,
The end is the final recipe.
So you're handing him the book?
Yeah. I'll hand him the book. I'll tell him this is Dorvor's Elven cookbook family recipe. Not I don't think you'll find many in print. Very unique find.
Well,
Much
this
elf
appears to be only
culinary
one
history.
book, but there are at least, I see, 3 others. Each of you needs something.
oh boy.
A piece of writing. Something interesting for Candlekeep.
I've got a manuscript I've been working on about different types of frit.
Did you say different types of frit?
Different types of frit, yes.
Okay.
You want me to
There's one
explain
type-
what frit
You
is?
can
for
hand that
you?
over as well.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm actually kind of curious. Different types. I turned to him like, different types of frit. What could that possibly
Yeah. So with glass blowing, my key skill here, you use frit to add colored pieces of sand in, and that adds color to the actual glass being blown.
Very
Hence
interesting.
my nickname.
mean? Ah, I
I
see.
experiment a lot with it, so
The only thing I can think of is as part of my background. I have a scroll of pedigree, and it comes from a different world. So you might find that interesting.
Yes. That sounds like it'd be very interesting. If you wouldn't mind.
Can I get it back when I leave?
Well, you will be donating it to Candlekeep, but we can have one of our scribes copy it
Yeah,
for
transcribe it. Yes. Although I don't know how much value it would be, considering it's the original with the seal would be important. But okay, it's needs
you can
require.
keep a copy of it, and he wants the original, please.
Okay. Anyway, here it is.
you. Okay. Take that over, and he looks over at you, Dote, and says, "And do you have something to gain entry?"
Let me see. Sure. I hand over a collection of wanted bounty posters.
Historical.
He kind of looks at
Is
you.
it, is,
May I see?
Sure.
And he looks at it, and what does he see? Does he see a picture of you?
No.
Does he see a picture of anybody in this party?
He sees he sees a collection of wanted bounty posters that probably extend back to roughly around
6,000 years ago.
no, actually more.
Oh, okay.
ooh.
Yeah.
So he glances through it, and these certainly seem very, very, very interesting. He opens up the recipe book. You have a number of recipes here. Very, very, very good. Jorn. He turns over to one of his guys over here.
I wonder if we could have said one recipe per person.
I mean, thank you for thinking of
Maybe
this
we
after we've given
Exactly.
everybody.
That's right.
We should have ripped out pages from the book
That's right.
preemptively. And it's like, and then just with some book binding, just like volumes 1 through 4.
Well, I asked him that. I said, well, now that you have it all, I said, would under Candlekeep law, would the multiple recipes qualify as as multiple works, because each of them may have been from. It could be a compilation contributed by a different chef.
Well, he's contemplating what you're saying, and why don't you go ahead and roll a persuasion?
Sure. Can't single click, got a double click. And that's not going to be good.
So he actually looks through the recipe book, and he sees that there's actually quite a number of recipes. It's a fairly thick book, and there's quite a number of recipes, and he's just kind of looking through it, and he says, "Well, are you saying you do not wish to part with your other documents?"
Well, we weren't prepared to. You kind of took us by surprise.
I interrupt.
Well,
I think
really?
Conan wants his papers back.
I want my
Those are-
papers back. Yeah.
So my book is a collection of wanted posters that go back to the Crown Wars, which is roughly somewhere between minus 12,000 to 9,000 years.
Wouldn't that have more value?
It's a collection of bounties my family has.
What I'm hearing is that you could have paid one bounty poster per person to get in.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it's considered that's not a book.
But why would you want to give that up? It sounds like it has historical value to your family.
True, however, a sage from my family told me to bring this book to donate this book to the to Candlekeep
Oh, okay.
for
Well,
preservation.
The reason, sir, unless I don't have a problem lending you the my scroll of pedigree, but I'd feel free to describe it if you wish, but I would need the original.
My book
is
also is a collection of 1 of 5.
Well, I can understand that this has sentimental value to you, but the Keeper of
Not
Tomes
sentimental.
has a pretty strict rule that you are to hand over an authentic. I mean, when I say hand over, this is the cost of admission, if you will.
I see, and I take it the multiple under Candlekeep rules. Does the multiple recipes not count?
Well, technically, it could count. I would say it's a bit of gray area, but left to my discretion, I believe I could, if you really feel sentimental value to your document. We
It's not a
here at
matter-
Candlekeep do fully understand if you do not wish.
It's not a matter of sentiment. It's a matter of legality. It's proof of who I am, and an original would be required rather than a copy, because anybody can make a copy.
Then you should not part with your original document that is there for your identification.
We might need to recon it for more comments.
Is everybody
to
else okay with? If everybody is okay with it, I will allow you one of the recipes as your admission.
Thank you.
Can I keep a copy of my original research so as to continue on it?
So
You said you were going to copy his.
well, no,
identification scroll.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm-
If you misunderstood what I was explaining, we have a scribe. We are to keep the original, and we can have a scribe make a
Yeah.
copy for you.
That's fine with me. I don't need the originals. I just need a copy at least.
Well, that would be fine. We would here at Candlekeep, as you know, it'll be safe. Any document that you bring to us will be safe in the world's greatest library. That is Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
And it forever will be in the records and kept very safe.
Maybe in the human world, it's the greatest library.
Very well, Sir Knight. Sir Fighter. I don't know if you're a knight yet. You're only first level.
Thank you.
John, please, if you will not mind waiting just a little bit. We have to check for authenticity. John, will you take these documents? And he kind of hands us to his, like a little sidekick he has there, who grabs the books and the documents and the posters and kind of starts running. And this will not be too long. Please wait. While he's doing that, is anybody doing anything, or should we just wait?
I guess
I think we'll just sit tight. Well, I'm sorry. Go on.
All right.
Well, I wanted to know, like, how we would know where Matreus is.
If you're looking for
Yeah,
a
can you look
particular
it up after?
seeker, I would say you could either ask around, or you could check in the house of the binder. Maybe he was there, and you could check the logs. And actually, let me see if I can have. Let me do a little quick. He kind of does this little thing over here. It's like, I've asked Jorn to check the logs and see if Matreus has entered and when he might have entered. I cannot tell you exactly where he is, but I could tell you whether he is, at least has entered. I can't exactly tell you if he's left. We don't check when people leave. We only check people in.
Yeah.
Actually, side note, did we even ask what Matreus looks like? I don't think we did.
I would hope so.
I don't think we did.
Like,
Hi,
I
I'm
assumed
Atreus.
he's
No, I'm
human.
Atreus.
Yeah, we know he's a sage, but that's all I have written.
If he's capable of magic,
We're
he can
wandering
alter his
around. We're looking
appearance.
for the
He
sage
could be
Atreus.
a sentient gelatinous
Platinum
cube.
That could be, you know?
That is true.
I'll take first person who says they're Matreus. They're coming with us.
With a top hat.
Yeah. Well, actually, we don't even have to. He doesn't even have to come with us. He just has to go to the town. That's it. Like, we are to send a message. That's all our job is. You're
I mean, we
Matreus,
need to go
right?
and collect our
Yeah.
money.
Well, I can tell you, I am not
Go and collect
Atreus.
our
My
money
name is
after it's
Callan.
done.
I'm sorry?
We need to go and collect our money after it's done. We can't just send him off.
Yeah, you might need to ensure that Matreus at least has fulfilled at least his, what he was asked for. Or maybe even get him to agree. Yeah, I have no idea. I haven't met him. All right. So 15 minutes later, Jorn returns, gives a nod to Callan. He introduced himself as Callan, by the way, before. Well, you may enter. You will now be referred to as seekers, as in seekers of information and knowledge. If you need a guide, you may request one of the avowed. The avowed is, you kind of run the place quite a bit here. You may not enter Candlekeep proper, but through the Emerald Door, without a guide who will argue your admittance to the Keeper of Tomes. If you do gain admittance, you will be given a letter with a wax seal. It must not be broken and must be handed to the Keeper of the Emerald Door intact. If you are simply here for research, you may request a copy of a piece of writing and request a study room in the Pillars of Pedagogy. Furthermore, the use of magic is prohibited within the library. The rules of Candlekeep are, if I can find them, no fighting. All arguments must follow the rules of cordial debate and discussion. Violent altercations are not tolerated. No stealing. This rule applies to all objects in the keep, not just the library's works. No copying. Visitors are permitted to take notes while studying the library's works, but anyone who wants to make a full copy must pay to have the manuscript created by the scribes at the house of the binder, and no damaging, marking, or otherwise modifying the works. This rule doesn't apply to privately owned books, scrolls, or other documents that aren't part of the Candlekeep collection. Do you agree to these rules?
How much is making a copy?
Well, you can check. It really depends on the document. If it's a large document, it would be more, and obviously, if it's less, it could be less. You go to the house of the binder, and they can give you a price.
The average book.
Or price per page?
Yeah, hang on. I think they might actually even have.
Also, do they sell parchment and ink? Because I don't have any on me.
That they can get at the house of the binder. Well, the scribe will do all this for you. Hang on a second. There might be a... Let me look under the house of the binder and see if there's a discussion on how much this stuff costs. Yes, okay. Non-magical tomes, typically in the books, the typical book would cost 100 gold pieces. If it's a translated version and you need it to translate, it'll be double that. If it's a spell book, it'll be 50 gold pieces per level of spell.
So cantrips are free?
Uh,
I don't think so. You
well,
don't
it'd
have
be
to look
50.
it up.
Well, I guess it would
Probably
be
half price of level 1.
50 times 0
Wait,
is
that
0.
makes vaguely sense.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give you the
That's
cantrips
what I
for
was
free.
saying.
Yeah.
If you buy a spell. It's buy one, get one free.
Ooh.
Where do visitors... Now, do we think Mateus is a visitor to Candlekeep, or is he a resident of Candlekeep? It sounds like he's a visitor.
Very
Sounds like
likely
he's-
Matreus is a seeker like you, looking for information, looking for knowledge. And
So where do the
is
seekers... Where do the
requesting-
seekers stay? Where do they lodge?
Well, there's a couple of places that I would recommend to you. You can look for rest at the House of Rest, which is, and he, by the way, let me share.
Self-evident.
Yep. I've just shared kind of like where the door is and then the large gates. And as I move, you go to the Court of Air, and I'm going to, how do I?
Okay.
Hang on, sync client view. So this should now kind of give you a little bit more. Let me actually zoom out a little bit. This is the courtyard that you're seeing. Let me just resync that. Okay, does that look better? Kind of filling up your screen. Let me get rid of this. echo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's kind of explaining the different areas that you have available to you. So
What was the purpose of the Emerald Door again?
the library is Candlekeep. That's behind the Emerald Door. This is the
That's
area
right,
where the
right.
seekers come in and request books, but they don't generally let you in to Candlekeep unless you got a real good reason to be there.
Okay, so
Just a little hint: probably not until you're a much higher level.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're definitely not breaking in.
Well,
We're
not
not
just
heist
anyone
level
can go
yet.
into Candlekeep proper. But if you
I mean,
need,
Navarro would be down for that, but
I have a question though. If we leave Candlekeep and we come back, does our previous contribution grant us access?
it does for 1 10 day.
1 10 day.
Yes.
And if we were to stay in for more than 10 days, or can we stay up to 10 days?
Once you're in, you could stay as long as you wish. But once you leave, you have 1 10 day to come back.
oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay.
So the places of interest, if you've had a long journey to get here, would be the House of Rest. You can also look to food, good food and drink at the Hearth. If you are interested in making copies of any books or requesting a book, you may go to the House of the Binder and take out a copy of a book. You may go to the Pillars of Pedagogy, and that's where you can go and have a basically what you see there to the north, those kind of like those towers, those would be the Pillars of Pedagogy. And that is where you can rent a study room. Now, you could also request a guide. A guide would be one of the avowed who will guide you through any process necessary here at Candlekeep and will also help you find the publications that you are looking for. There's a bath and steam house if you wish to take a bath. There's heated pool. There are
Like a delayed-
outfitters and clothiers. There's a smithy and the stables. And, well, there's
Like
the
a
Emerald
delayed-
Door, but I don't think you
Just
should
out
know.
of curiosity, can the book we turn over be a copy, right? It doesn't need to be the original first edition.
You will unlikely receive an original of any book, but there will be copies. But it's not to say that you couldn't.
No, the book that we give to enter Candlekeep, it can be a copy, or does it have to be like a first edition?
It does not have to be a first edition.
Okay. Because my
If-
books are technically copies.
Yes, it's as long as we do not have a copy of it, we are happy to include it in our library. The Keeper of Tomes wishes, his goal, of course, is to expand the knowledge that Candlekeep may offer. Well, if you're hungry, I recommend the Hearth.
Do we know what time it is right now?
It's probably late in the day. It's probably evening, actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Thought we were
Can
ready.
we get gold off those bandits?
Is that me making this noise? Do you hear it?
I hear it. I hear the.
Yeah, I hear the crackling.
Yes, it was. Yes, Mazar.
Is that better? I didn't do anything.
Yeah. I don't hear it now.
Just seems to.
Can't hear it now.
It just seems to have stopped. Okay.
All right. So, well, I think I head to. How will we find out about Mateus? Should we go to the rest and check there, or will somebody from Candlekeep make the inquiries?
Well, I've had Jorn check for you, and Matreus did check in here at probably a few weeks ago.
Do you know when do people have to check out?
No, people do not check out.
All right, so we don't know whether he could still be here or he could have left.
It's possible he left.
Can we
but
confirm? Is it that he's a seeker? Do you have that knowledge? Do you keep track of who's a seeker and who's not,
Well, we do.
or who's more advanced?
Yes, he would be considered a seeker. He's looking for. He's probably came here to do some research.
Would you be able to tell us what type of research he was doing?
I do not know him. I apologize. There lots of people come in.
Uh,
Right,
Many
but
come
I'm
in.
sure there's a record of the books he's taken.
How
out.
many mess halls are there?
I suggest you go to the House of the Binder.
They will tell about. I thought the binder makes the copies.
Yes,
But
and you
they'll
may
draw.
also request a guide. It's possible that the guides might be able to help you.
I thought that was pedagogy. Gives you the guide. Am I
Well,
wrong?
the guides could take you to the pedagogy. That's where you study.
I
The
see.
pillars.
Okay. I see. Right. And then the binder. That's where you get your room. That's right. I apologize. All right. I understand now. Okay. So the binder will tell us what type of books he sought.
The binder can tell you if he's taken a copy of a publication.
Yes. Okay.
Now, the copies that we make are quite authentic. But
Is there closing time
he may
for
have also.
the
I'm sorry.
rooms?
Say again, please. I'm sorry.
Is there closing time for the study rooms?
No.
Or can you just stay there indefinitely?
Well, you can stay there indefinitely if he wants. Once you have a. I mean, you pay. But.
Okay.
We could check with the
Then
house
yeah,
of the
the
binder
binder
and
sounds
see
the best place.
if he's relinquished the keys. Maybe that's the best bet.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Quick question: did we get any gold from the bandits?
I'm sorry, the pillars of pedagogy for relinquishing the keys. That's where you would get them from. But if you need a guide, maybe a guide can help you.
I think we got like 7 silver or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it went into nope, not that one.
party sheet, yeah.
There's a party? Yeah.
Okay.
Wherever that is. There it is. Yep. 7 silver
So I
pieces.
guess we go to the binder to ask around.
If you wish.
And the binder will also, if I'm just want to make sure I understand correctly. Let's say you don't necessarily want a copy, you just want to essentially borrow a book to study. Is the binder the place to go for that as well?
That would be a place where you can check out the books as well. Yes.
Okay. Like a library.
It's a library. Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Now, if you need, I apologize. You can check out books from the library, authentic books from the library, but you cannot keep them. If you need a copy, then that's what the binder is for.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So do
Alright,
we
then.
want to head over to the house of the binder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you
Well, we
enter,
have
you follow the path. You could see the house of the binder is somewhat of a majestic-looking building. It's it has these kind of like these pillars on the sides, or towers, I should say, on the corners, and you pass a temple. You pass the stables. You pass a temple. You pass what looks like the house of rest, and of course the hearth, which is now evening time, of course, and you smell the food coming from it, and it does whet your appetite. You get to the house of the binder. Big wooden doors that are iron reinforced. You open them up, and in front there's kind of like a counter with someone behind there with these spectacles, like these little like with glasses, kind of reading.
Okay. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Seeker, what can I do for you?
We are searching for a fellow seeker named Matreus. And we're wondering if you could tell us the last time he was here with you in your offices, either checking out a book or making a request for a copy of a book.
Yes, I might be able to help and see if he requested a book.
We were trying to locate him to see if is there any way you might know where he might be, where I could find him.
Well, if you can give me some time, I might be able to do a little bit of research and find this record of this seeker and maybe the book that if he was here. Can you give me a general idea of when he might have been around?
What did the gentleman say
In
to,
a
a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
I think he told you a
A
few
week or
weeks.
two.
A few weeks ago?
A few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. You mean like
Maybe
10
3?
days?
Right, let's start with 3. And then work backwards.
Oh, this will take me quite a bit of time to do that kind of research.
How long would you say that might take to find him? Or to
Well,
find
if you can give me an exact day, then it would be relatively quick. But if you're giving me a span of, let's say, a week, a 10-day,
We have to find Jordan.
that could take me a couple of hours.
All right, well, maybe one of us can find Jorn. I'll say I'll try to get you. Do you know where we can find Jorn? My understanding is he works for the administration.
Jordan at the front gate, he works for Kalen.
I believe so. I believe
Well, he
was
works
the one
with
that-
Kalen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'll go. Is he at the front gate? Oh, let me see if I can go to the front gate and see. I'll return shortly. Maybe I can get a better. Jordan, I believe, did know when he first arrived. So maybe I can get a more specific date for you.
okay.
How many
Alright,
people are here currently?
Oh, you mean in Candlekeep? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you could see
many
that there's just quite a number of people just walking through the courtyard. Well, Candlekeep is quite a large citadel. I think that we probably have at least a few thousand that are here. I mean, but Candlekeep proper, which there are many inside there. And I believe you'll probably find at least 2,000-3,000 at any given time.
Okay. I scoot out.
Candlekeep's a
so-
fairly large place.
Okay, yeah, just because I'm looking at the House of Rest, and that looks fairly small.
Well, don't forget, there's
In comparison
plenty
to,
of
like,
residents of
House, right?
Candlekeep. But that is for the guests, the seekers. I can't... Oh, are you saying specifically seekers? Oh, I
Specifically
apologize. I thought you were talking about the population of Candlekeep.
No, my apologies.
Oh, at any given time, there could be, let's just say, somewhere around, give or take, 100. But we're a little bit light lately.
And both the residents and the seekers borrow books?
I'm sorry, please repeat what you said.
So both the residents and the seekers borrow numerous books per day? I'm just curious as to how much documentation you have that'll take you hours to go through something.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, there's lots of seekers come and go on a daily basis. But any given time, those that actually stay, I mean, people come for the day and leave. It could take a couple of hours. Don't forget, we are not high tech here. We have everything written on a scroll. And multiple
Fair.
scrolls.
Okay.
You're condescending high tech.
Well, I mean, I've asked the
If
Keeper of
you-
Tomes many times if there could be a spell crafted that could help us find, like, some way of storing this kind of data in some central hub that is accessible by a spell. Or
A
some
base of data or something along
divination.
those lines.
Yes, but he seems to be a
base of
little bit
data.
behind and cares more about just storing books. Not that that's not a worthy
All we
endeavor.
do know about Matreus is that he's a sage. Seems to be some kind of healer. I don't know if that'll help with the kind of books he might have looked at.
Well, I'm sure we could find which books he has requested. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go to the hearth? Give me about at least an hour or two, maybe 2 hours. How about that? 2 hours, and by that time I should probably find. I will look back at least a month and go maybe a 2-week span, a 10-day span. Does that sound
Can
good?
can we
Thank
enter the Emerald Door now? Or they're still verifying? Have we not received the seals yet?
Oh no, you are not
Doing
given
it.
seals. I mean, you must have a good argument and request a seal from one of the higher avowed.
I'm actually gonna go do that.
you would like to speak to one of the members of the Avowed, you'll have to come back tomorrow. They are inside the library. The gate warden.
Well, then why don't we go and get dinner, and then we'll come
let's go
back,
dinner.
or whatever the
If
next
they're
meal is.
inside the library and I can't get in the library, how am I supposed to talk to them?
Well,
They come out in the morning.
They will come out in the
is what I'm
morning, yes.
assuming.
You could meet back here tomorrow morning if you'd like, and I am sure I could find a guide who can take you to, or at least make an argument for you to one of the master sages.
Also, we don't know if Matrix is even in there. I don't really think we need to worry about that right now.
Just to give you a little inside information, since this must be your first time here in Candlekeep. The Emerald Door is usually not meant for seekers to come through unless there's a very valid reason.
Would you have record of who is gain admittance to the Emerald Door? Through the Emerald Door? Would that be something you would know?
Well, this would go a little higher up from my pay grade.
Right, so in other words, you wouldn't be advised.
No, we do not keep that record here.
Okay.
But chances are the seeker that you are looking for never went to the Emerald Door. He probably went to the Pillars of Pedagogy and did his research there. That's generally what seekers do.
All right. So how about some of us go to the Hearth? Maybe somebody should go to the Rest, and maybe I'll head over to the Pillars of Pedagogy and see when he last took out a room.
Yeah, I was thinking that we could split up and try to gather some information.
Yeah. All right. So I'll head to the Pillars of Pedagogy. Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Very well.
We'll be back in an hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Yeah. Who wants to take what?
I'll go to Pillars of Pedagogy.
Okay. All right, so we're breaking you guys
I
up.
mean,
I think so, yeah.
Who's going where?
Yeah.
Who's going where?
Connor's
Well, we
going
must
to
Connor's
have
going to
definitely
the Pillars of
stayed at the Heart
Pedagogy
and the
and-
House of Rest.
And
yeah, unless he decided to just sleep in the study room.
That's true. I guess
people
I'll
that are
go
college.
to the Hearth.
the Hearth. Okay.
I'll go to the house arrest.
All right. Dote, will you be going with anybody, or what would you like to do?
Are you gonna go start climbing walls?
I'll stay here and start rolling intimidation checks on this guy to make sure he does diligent work.
You're going to be intimidating?
Oh,
I'm going
geez.
to be staring him diligently, make sure he actually said what he's going to do.
Okay. So as Connacht leaves, as Frit leaves, and Yildrin leaves, you stay on, staring at the man behind the counter.
Waiting diligently.
I mean,
So
if
he's-
I
he's
finish
kinda-
before
he's
the
kinda
2 hour
finishing-
time frame,
He's
yeah.
Go ahead.
If I finish before the 2 hour time frame, I'm ducking in, spotting Dote standing there because I wonder where he went off to, and then dragging him out.
Okay.
Because let's not piss off the person that's helping us out here.
All right.
I mean,
So
there's only 2 places to go.
I mean, that's not true.
There were
If he's
3,
been here
actually.
long, if he was here a long enough while, he could have stopped at the outfitters and clothiers, or
You don't
maybe
know,
at that
maybe he'll
temple.
walk in.
The
Maybe he'll walk
bathhouse
in looking
even.
for his books.
okay. All right.
Okay, then let's not stare at him.
Okay. So
There's
Dote,
nothing else
you
to do.
are staring him down.
I'm gonna look at him.
All right.
Yes.
Why don't you roll an intimidation check?
I mean, I'm not actually going to be intimidating him.
Well, your staring is probably going to be intimidating regardless.
Alright.
You plan on glaring at him?
No, not glaring.
Just waiting.
looking at him.
Okay, you're just waiting there. Like this?
No.
Leaning against something.
Like this?
No. Those are human postures. I'm an elf, sir.
like Connath
All
is...
right.
Are you staring at him like Connath is staring at you right now?
You lean like this, but with a branch.
With no blinking. No blinking at all.
Are you staring at him like Hannibal Lecter?
I don't know how delicious This is brain mush.
Well, if it had some flava beans.
Yes.
Exactly.
At any time now, you would like to go to the back and see if you can find Matreus. Will you?
I take 2 steps back. Like, maybe Matreus will be back. I'll wait.
All right. He is finishing up his. He's finishing up his. You know, he's looking down. He's finishing up what he was doing, and every once in a while, he's kind of like looking at you. Yes, right away. I'm just going to finish up what I'm doing here, and and he's.
I give the
He's
most
starting to get a
I
little
mean, if
flustered.
this is how he hiccups around the public, he doesn't deal with the public very much if this is how he's hicking up around it.
Well, you know, I see. I don't want you to be impatient, but okay. I did need a couple of hours. Would you mind letting me have my couple of hours?
You may take your hours.
Well, if you wish to wait, so okay. So he kind of closes his book, and he calls over an assistant. The assistant comes over and sits, and he goes in the back, like this back room. And the door closes.
Wow, how long has he been a librarian for? Not very long, apparently. Speaking as a librarian.
Well, I mean, he's more of the. Well, yeah, I guess he's just.
Let's be honest. He was gonna go drink some wine before we got here.
You don't know what he's doing in that back room, but he did ask you for at least 2 hours. All right. In the meantime, Coneth, you are heading over to the Pillars of Pedagogy, and you come to the door. And once again, very similar to what you saw at the House of the Binder, inside the Pillars of Pedagogy is a front desk with a this would be an elven patron, like an elven proprietor, I guess, or whatever you want to call him. So, clerk.
Yes.
And can I help you? Oh, I can't use that voice again.
Good day.
Can I help you?
Good day. I
Are you
am.
looking for a room to study?
I'm actually looking to find the last time a certain gentleperson named Matreus was last in your rooms here.
Matreus.
You have a record of that.
That does
Matreus.
sound familiar, Matreus?
Yes.
He looks. He picks up and he's kind of looking through his records. Can you give me an idea of when he might have been here last?
Started looking around 10 days ago, and then work. I would say work backwards from there. We don't have any specific times when he might have been here, other than the fact that it was somewhat recently.
Oh, wait a second. I think that must be the one who was looking at Fistandia's old room. Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. He starts looking through, and yes, similar to Fistandia, would go into this room and stay there for quite a while, and it does not look like he's checked out.
You think he's still in this room?
I think he might be in the room. It's interesting, unless
may
there's
I
a
have a
mistake.
Now, who is this Fistandia that you're referring to?
Fistandia is someone. Oh, she's from years and years ago. She was also a mage, quite a powerful one, from what I understand. And she would go to her study room that she tended to always request. And the strange thing is very similar to Matreus. She would go in for quite a while.
Can you describe
It's
this?
unusual. She would come in and I don't see her for a while. And then she comes out.
When you say a while, are we talking days or hours?
Days?
Do they order food? Are you allowed to eat in these rooms?
I mean, you could bring snacks and food if you wish, but it's not as if you have days worth. We don't have cabinets and things like that. We have desks and bookshelves and places where you can study.
Is there anything significant about these rooms? Any noteworthy events that have occurred?
They are rooms for study.
In the past? Yes, but this particular room. You're saying it's the same room as the Standia, and he's exhibiting the same patterns as this Standia by going into the room for several days before coming out. Is there anything remarkable about this particular room? Has any event occurred in here?
No, I mean, our rooms are rooms. There's nothing special. They're made of stone
But no
around the
event.
walls. They have desks. They have chairs.
No, no great magic was invoked. Well, actually, magic is illegal here. But there's no.
Magic is illegal in a library.
I see.
It's not to say that there couldn't be some spells here and there or tests. I mean, after all, lots of wizards come and lots of those who are familiar with the arcane arts and other spells and the weave. We have plenty that come through and they experiment. We do not want damage done, of course. No,
of course.
Yeah.
But my question again is regarding this particular room. You're saying that he requested this particular room. What did Thessandia study?
I mean, I'm just not familiar with exactly what she is studying. That's usually private matter.
I see. Can you take me to this room?
Do you have a guide?
We were permitted in, but I don't have a specific guide. I thought you would help us by choosing a room.
We generally do not bring. We do not bring unknown people to various rooms that someone may be studying. That's one of the reasons why they go into a private room.
Is there what a guide would be required? Those we would have to go
You
to the
would need
Emerald.
to be escorted with a guide who can take you to this room.
Is there any way, if I were to wait here, could you at least see if Mateus is in residence in this room?
Well, I mean, according to my records, he should be there because he is not checked out.
How long ago did he check in?
I think the last time he has been checked in, the last time he checked in was days ago.
So he could theoretically be starving to death or in peril. Should you not at least check on him?
Well, it's possible. I mean, you want to roll a persuasion?
Yeah, I'll roll.
He doesn't know you.
Yes, but I'm saying that I won't go there. You go there. You just find out. And all I ask is if you do see him, if you could say that I request that a gentleman requests the pleasure of an audience. All right, let's.
Very well. That makes sense. It's true. He hasn't checked out. We'll have someone check the room.
Just to make sure of his health. Just to make sure he's okay.
Okay, so he pulls another assistant. They all have assistants, it seems. And the assistant, he tells the assistant to go to a specific room. The assistant leaves. And while you're doing that, Frit, you were headed to the house arrest? I'm sorry, where were you going? House arrest? Frit?
Oh, yes, I was going to the house of rest.
Okay. House of Rest is just a place of lodging, and of course there is a counter there with someone who is waiting, a clerk of some sort. Can I help you?
Yeah, we're currently looking for a sage named Mateus. I was just wondering if you knew if he checked in recently, or if he stayed in any of the rooms in the past few weeks.
Well, I mean, we could check. I mean, generally the privacy of our patrons is usually a top concern of ours. And who may I ask is asking?
Frit, on behalf of town, on behalf of...
Dorvor?
Dorvor's the half-elf. Helmfirth. And Dorvor specifically. Apparently the Townsend has some issues with their crops and things. They were looking for...
Are you here to research the crops?
No, we're here to find somebody who is familiar with all of this sort of stuff.
Well, I mean, we could look through our records
So
and
we're
see
looking
if
for
this person is
Mateus.
around, and and we will not give you his room if he has one, because Like I said,
No, we're just
privacy is
looking
our
to
number
see if
one
he's in
concern.
residence right now.
So you can understand.
Of course, of course. We're just looking. Yeah.
So he starts looking through records. And he's flipping and flipping and flipping. And you said his name was Matreus? Matrovius?
Mateo?
Mateus?
Mateus.
Matreus, I think. I think it's with an R.
Can you spell
Mateus.
Matreus?
I thought it was Matreus.
It's Matreus.
M-A-T Matreus.
It's
I'm missing the R.
M-A-T-R-A-O-U-S.
M-A-T-R-E-O.
O-U-S or something? Yeah.
O-U-S.
He writes it down. He says, okay, bear with me. All right, and Yildrin, you go into the hearth, right?
Yes.
From the outside, the hearth appears to be a modest tavern of sturdy construction. You can see that there's warm lights that are emanating from a pair of small windows on either side of the front door. Not too large a place. You actually find it interesting because you hear a lot of voices and sounds inside, and you assume you're going to be like a sardine inside there. But when you open it up, the door, and you walk in, it is unusually large inside. So large that you actually step outside the door, look at the outside to gauge how large it is, and then you walk inside, and it just doesn't seem right. It is at least 3 times the size inside than it is on the outside.
It's one of those.
It's one of those.
I'm guessing there's a bar and a barkeep to go with it.
There is a bar, and there's a barkeep, and there is a crystal orb embedded into the ceiling over the bar, is what you notice. As you scan around, you see many people, hang on. As you scan around, you see a number of people drinking, laughing, enjoying themselves, and you can't help but notice there's this, in the corner of the room, there's this huge ogre sitting at the table, wearing also spectacles, and has this intricate looking headband around his head, and he's reading a book. A sight that you would never thought you would ever see from an ogre.
Interesting. Okay.
And he's engrossed, you could tell he's engrossed in the book. You see quite a number of people, mostly wearing robes. You could tell these are scholars, these are seekers, these are, not adventurers so much, but people looking for knowledge. A few are by themselves, a few just parties, having a fun time, and there is the proprietor as well. The barkeep, who kind of gives you a nod.
Okay. I guess I'll head on to the barkeep.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. I'm just. I'll head up to the barkeep and greet him.
Okay.
Gingerly, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, I just arrived to Candlekeep with my friends. We've come looking for a friend of mine. I don't know if he's still here or not. Matreus? Another wizardy sage type like these folk. Middle-aged.
Well, people come here all the time, and I don't catch all of their names. Not all the time. I apologize. But most likely he's been here. Maybe you'll check around. Maybe you could check with the little one. He's always here. He points over at the corner to the giant ogre.
There, of course. Thanks. I'll be sure to ask, and what's good to drink around here?
Well,
and does the little one drink?
I mean, we have a fine selection of ale and mead. Hops are great this time of the year. Good brew. We have all kinds of fine wine, elven, if you wish. We have recipes, as you can tell. We are very knowledgeable around here on creating the best drink.
I scan around the bar. Is there perhaps a stage of some kind?
Yeah. Are you looking to
Okay.
perform?
Maybe, but not yet.
There is a stage, and there are some people. You see a couple. Actually, if you hear it in the background, you hear they're playing a little bit of music over there. You have a couple musicians.
Okay.
Do we hear it?
I'll ask the barkeep. What does the little one drink?
Well, I think the little one has decided he was on a bit of a diet, so he's drinking apple juice.
Okay. Give me a mug of that and some ale.
He
Sorry, mead. Yeah.
hands you a little bit of ale and asks you for what does ale cost? Yeah, 2 silver. I mean 2 copper. Can't be too expensive.
Okay. I only have gold. I'm guessing like I just do the
Ooh.
conversion rate.
You only have gold, huh? All right, he gives you change.
You know, I'll give him 2 gold. I'll tell him to keep the gold. I might need to pay for some more drinks later. Might as well open a tab.
Okay.
Yildrin, by the way, I tell him. And I give him 2 gold.
It's very nice to meet you, Yildrin.
How
I'll
about
keep
you?
your tab open.
Barkeep
And
got a name?
what, I'm sorry.
Does I ask him like, does the barkeep have a name? I don't know if the book gave the barkeep a name.
No. Let's see.
Okay, you can give me the name later.
Okay.
Bari the keep. And
All right.
I take my ale and I head on over to the little one.
Okay.
And,
All right. He's kind of like deep, and he's engrossed in his book, and he's not even looking up at you, but he's reading.
Do
It's
I know?
over.
I
You
think I
have to
don't
kill him.
know. And damn.
Evil.
Is this the evil campaign?
Evil.
Let me check. No, I don't speak orc. I guess
I
like
think it was
before I
an
get too
ogre.
close. Okay, I don't know what is ogre. Is orcish not the same language for
Ogre's
ogres?
probably
and
more like a
orcs?
giant.
Ah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't know giant either. I'll greet him in common, like as I approach the table, and kind of like set the apple juice near him, and be like, "The barkeep tells me you like apple juice."
One moment, please. I'm at a good part.
You notice he speaks very well, and he speaks common, no accent, doesn't sound brutish at all. He speaks like
I just sip my
very
ale
well
and
educated, let's
patiently
just
wait.
say. Finally, he kind of rests the book down and looks up at you. And he looks at the apple juice and he gives you.
Well, thank you.
I tell him, let's see. Well, I wouldn't want to waste your time any more than I already have. The barkeep tells me that you might know where my friend is, Matreus. We were sent here to find him. Some people need his help.
Atreus. Yes. I believe I remember Matreus, a sage of some kind, right?
Yes. A healer.
Ah, yes. One who knows about curses. He spoke to me about it. Seems to be interested in extradimensional spaces. I believe he was interested in the works of Fistandia. She was a mage. Very powerful. And specialized in that kind of magic.
Did you two talk often?
You mean me and Matreus?
Yeah.
No, but I do remember a conversation I had with him. Told me a little about himself, I told him a little about myself. Other than that,
what
I
about-
don't know how much I can help.
What about this Festania? Are they still around, or are they one of these old mages that kicked the bucket a while ago?
I haven't heard from Festandia in a long time. It's been quite a number of years.
So Festania and Matreus might be friends?
I couldn't say whether Festandia and Matreus were friends, but he seemed to be interested in her work. In fact, I'm not entirely sure he knew her personally.
An idea if Matreus already left Candlekeep?
That I do not know. I have not seen him in at least 2 weeks, maybe?
All right, I'm going to cut you off for a second and head over to Conneth. Actually, let's head over to Dote. Dote! He's not back yet. He's still in the back room.
Okay.
Continue to wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also attentive to like people who walk in. Maybe like
It's not very busy right now. It's getting kind of late, dinner time. Nobody's really walked in.
okay.
Conneth, the assistant comes back and kind of nods and whispers into the elf's ear. And the elf turns to you and says, "It appears that nobody is in that room."
All right, can you just hold on one moment? I just have to help my son with something. I'm sorry. Can you just somebody else while
All right, sure.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Frit. He goes to his records and sees that Matreus has been there maybe 3 weeks ago, checked in, and he actually came back a couple of days later to check out. And this was probably like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Do you remember him at all, or another coworker remembers him?
I mean, we have people coming and going. It's hard to put a name to the face.
Fair. All right then. I can't think of anything else that I can ask for, so I probably go and either join. I'll go poke my head in and see what Dote's doing.
Okay. All right. You had.
Like I said, if I finish early.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
I'm
You
back.
had. Excuse me. You head out of the house of rest, and you head over back to the house of the binder, and you poke in, and there's Dote. Dote, what are you doing? Just standing there?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say it's been maybe about a half hour so far.
Alright.
Maybe 40 minutes.
And no one's come in?
Nah, well, I mean, Frit just came in. It's starting to get kind of late. People aren't really, people aren't really looking to take out books now that they haven't already taken. People are eating. They're at the hearth. They're maybe already at the house of rest and they're resting, or they're maybe still working late nights at the Pillars of Pedagogy. Heading back to Conneth. Are we ready for you now?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So the assistant spoke in the ear of the elf. The elf turns to you and says, "As a matter of fact, it appears that room, he's not in the room."
And I take it that that is not normal, because he would have had to have checked out.
Typically, they check out when you check in and you check out. So he could be
Could
around
he-
somewhere. Maybe he's in someone else's room that we do not know. Maybe I can't tell you.
But is there any other ways out of this building besides through this door?
Well, I'm sure you could find a window to jump out of.
So theoretically, you could have.
Generally, they come through the gates here. I mean, if you look at the map, you'll see that you can get out and go from one pillar to the next. But generally, they come through the back of that house. You see that? Are you looking at the map still?
Yeah.
There's kind of like a house there with a front door. So yes, they usually pass through here, unless they scale the walls and jump out into the sea of swords. I don't really know. Unless somebody didn't do their job and didn't require him to check out.
Would it be possible, since the room is empty, may I inspect the room?
I prefer you had a guide with you.
But he's not in it. Am I concerned that I am concerned
Are
about
you looking to
foul play.
rent this room?
How much? I'm looking simply to examine it. I have to see if I could find some clue as to his whereabouts.
Okay. Okay, if you're looking for this man, I guess I can understand. All right, he sends his assistant, and
I appreciate it.
okay, and he takes you into the courtyard to one of the pillars, probably the largest pillar actually, and you go up the steps and kind of around and around and around until you finally get to a relatively high floor, and he opens up the door. It's kind of like this big, wooden door that opens up into a room generally made out of stone all around. And inside there is a desk with a few books, with one book in particular that is open.
Okay. May I inspect it?
The book has, basically you look at the book and the cover is an interesting cover. It's actually got the bust of since we're talking about busts lately, of a man who's kind of bald with kind of like eyebrows like this and a goatee. And you can see that it has like a gem. Actually, I could show you a picture of it. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Bear with me. Okay. You see this book.
Do I recognize the man?
You can roll an Arcana check.
Not history?
I guess I'll give you a history check too.
I mean, they're both intelligence, but I'm guessing you're proficient with history.
Yeah.
Oof,
You did pretty good
that
on
was
that one.
close to a 4.
Yes, this is actually a very famous wizard. His name is Mordekainen.
A flash went through Connor's head like a searing knife at the mention of that name. But then he recovers.
This is all coming from the book. I am not making any of this up.
Mordekainen. What do I know of Mordekainen?
Well, you don't know a lot. I think at this point you're going to have to start making Arcana checks.
Okay, but do I know when he lived? I mean, I know some historical facts about him.
A long time ago.
Is he still alive? Is he still alive?
Unknown.
Okay.
You're talking about a very powerful.
Is he known to be
Mage.
good, bad? Do I, things like motives, things like that? Historically, was he? Do I know what kind of person he is?
The only thing you know of him is he may not have always been the most, upstanding. I don't know about the upstanding is the word, but probably not great.
Was he selfish? Was he good of all kind of thing? Sacrificing some for the good of all type of thing.
Well, I wouldn't say he did. You don't get the impression that he is of necessarily of a good nature.
Okay. He doesn't look good from that picture. I turn to the person.
Red eyes, man.
Yeah. Do you recognize this book, or what can tell me anything about this book?
I mean, we're not in the room with you, so...
The title is The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces. I can tell you that.
I missed what you just said. About something about
the title of the book is The Joy of Extradimensional Spaces.
Interesting. Does the room look like it's currently lived in? Is it neat? Should I search it?
Nope.
I mean, can I search it?
There's various other books, but nothing of note. This is the one that seems to be out. This is the one that was open, and in the forefront on the desk as if somebody were reading it.
May I borrow it? Or could it not leave this room?
It cannot leave this room. I'm sorry. The one who rented it would have to be the one, or there would have to be an investigation if you believe that there's something wrong and so this person is missing. It would be quite a while.
Clothes? Do I see any clothes, food, anything that might indicate that
No.
this room is being
Nope.
lived in?
Nothing. It's just an ordinary room with a desk and a book.
Okay. If I flip through it, I guess I could roll Arcana to see if I understand what it's...
You'll have to roll some Arcana.
All right, this is not going to go well.
You flip through it. The only thing that you notice is that there's some writing on the margin of the page that it was open to, on the margins.
Yeah.
And the writing is in a shorthand that you cannot recognize.
Okay. Is this Connor the calligrapher? Because I think that was.
I don't.
Oh no, I think I'm. I think I got Dragon Chess as my proficiency. I don't think it's. Yeah, I'm not. I would not be a calligrapher yet. Okay, I was going to say. I turned to the my. I don't remember the person that's with me. And I try. I said, "Do you have any paper that I could copy this note on?"
I'm sorry, not on me. I did not know to bring some.
Yes. Would it be possible to get some paper so I can copy this note?
Okay.
Maybe I can bring it back to my compatriots. Maybe they can make head or tails of this.
So he says, "Wait here." He runs out and starts going down the stairs, and it takes a little bit of time. In the meantime, Fritz, and are you still with?
If I can
Dote?
drag Dote out of the room, I think we're gonna go wander over and see what Yaldrin's doing.
Okay.
Yaldrin?
Dote,
Yeah,
do you agree to
yeah.
go with Frit, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay.
Okay.
All right,
I'll let
well,
you guys
suit
work that
yourself.
part out. All right.
Suit yourself. I'm wandering over to the hearth.
Okay. So you head over to the hearth, and there you open the door, and there's Yildrin. You can see Yildrin sitting at the table with this giant, a sight that you thought you would never see. A giant that looks more intelligent than... I'm sorry, not the giant. An ogre that looks a lot more intelligent than you would ever expect an ogre. Now, you don't know a lot of history. I mean, you don't really have a huge amount of experience, but you've heard of ogres, and you know that they're pretty brutish, not the most intelligent. But this one seems a little bit different. So you can see that Yildrin is in deep conversation with this ogre. And what would you like to do, Frit?
I wave to Yildrin and wander over and sit down with them.
Okay. Yildrin, in the corner of your eye, you saw Frit kind of waving over at you. All right. You go over to sit down, and Yildrin is talking to the ogre.
I'll introduce Frit to my new friend. I don't know if he also does not have a name in the module.
Everybody calls me the little one.
Everybody
You like
calls me
to
Frit.
read?
Who's
you like to
asking?
read?
Reading's fun. I prefer weaving, but
He holds up this book, and he says,
This book is a fantastic book. I highly recommend it. It's called The Storm King's Thunder. The author is Scryers Fink. If you would like to read it, I'm almost done.
maybe next time. We're still kind of looking for our friend Matrius. Bit of a... But I would definitely take you up on your offer next time I'm in Candlekeep.
Well, I wish you lots of luck. I hope you find your friend.
You wouldn't happen to know who else Matrius might hang out with around here? If you had anyone in particular that he'd like to talk to, or...
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I could not be more help.
Nah, that's fine. You've been more help than I expected I would find here. And I'll tell him Be sure to order some dinner or put it on my tab. I already told the barkeep.
Well, as you know, I'm quite large and I do eat a lot. I've been trying to diet, but a diet for me is about 10,000 calories. Do you think they have a cow that I can eat in the kitchen for dinner on a plate?
I would hope so. I mean, I'd be disappointed if a bar this great didn't have a cow or two.
Well, how large is your tab?
Well, I would say don't go spending all two of that gold in one place, but
Well, I don't know if I can have an
off
entire
the top of my
cow.
head, do I know how much a cow is? Because, like,
Imagine a cow's probably more than 2 gold.
probably.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
could
I
have
hope
its
my
leg.
2 gold. I hope my 2 gold eases your purse, my friend.
Oh, much appreciated. Much appreciated. I will gladly have the drink necessary to... Well, it'll be apple juice most likely, but I drink a lot too.
A sheep is 2 gold.
A sheep is what?
2 gold.
Well, I don't even.
I'm looking more for a cow. I mean, a sheep.
I mean, you're,
I guess
Sheep
that
is good
could be
for
my
dieting, though.
appetizer.
Yeah, if you're going on a diet, maybe 2 sheep instead of a cow. I hear.
I'll see if they can
Diet.
cook me up a sheep.
Good day, friend. And I get up and I guess I signal Frit.
he goes back to his reading.
Follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll tell you like all what he told me about like Fistania and that Matrix is reading up on interdimensional spaces.
Coneth,
Yes.
it takes a bit of time, but the runner, or whatever you want to call him, comes back up and gives you a parchment.
Okay. I try to transcribe what I saw.
Oh, you
Just in
needed a
case
pen.
this book- Oh, that's a good point. I hope that they.
I forgot the pen.
Do we catch him as we head out, as we come up on the tower? And he's like,
I
"Not today."
do apologize. I should have been more clearly express my intentions. I do, as I said, I do intend to copy this.
I
transcribe
mean, yeah,
it. That would
that
be-
was implied.
Yes.
All right, Coneth, let's see how good you copy it. Roll a sleight of hand. We got to be very careful with those. You got to be very meticulous with your hands.
Not one of my better ones, but maybe.
All right. You manage to trace it, and you trace the words that are in the margin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I write down the name of the book, the Joys of Interdimensional Travel, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
And I thank him.
All
I
right.
thank my guide. I say, can I leave a message with you, and I'll leave a message with the clerk at the room to please, if you do see Matthias, tell him that it's vitally important that I meet with him. It's a matter of grave urgency, and his services are sorely needed.
Okay.
And I thank him, and I go on my way out. I talk to the same gentleman at the front gate, the front desk, or whatever. Say the same thing.
All right. Very good. And he says, my pleasure, and he takes you back to the front gate. All right,
Yes.
what would you like to do next?
Yeah, and I say the same thing to the front gate guy. I forgot his name. I don't know if he even told me his name, but
No, the elf.
that we're looking for. Yeah, we're looking for. Just tell him that if you do see Matthias, if he does ultimately appear, when they talk about extra dimensional travel or spaces, it's possible he may still be here somewhere, or at least may return here. If you do see him, just tell him that a gentleman, you give my name, Kenneth Telemarth, would like a quick audience with him because his services are he's sorely needed to help. There's a village in great need.
Very well. Very well. I'll do that for
Thank
you.
you.
No problem.
I will be staying. We'll be staying in the inn in the rest.
House of the Rest.
Most likely,
Yes.
the House of Rest and dining at the hearth.
Very good. If it turns up, I will be sure to send the runner and let you know.
Thank you. And I return to the hearth. See
Okay.
who's there.
you also are amazed when you get to the hearth how small it is on the outside and how large it is on the inside.
An extra-dimensional space indeed.
Specific
Well, it is an extra.
blue,
This
too.
place is filled with extra-dimensional spaces. Kind of as you walk in and you scan the room, you first can't help but notice the giant ogre in the corner. Are you guys still with the ogre at the moment when Kenneth walks in? You kind of hanging out there? Still sharing
Well,
a drink,
maybe
or
would have
have you
caught us,
left?
like just getting up.
All right, so let's do that.
Yeah.
So Kenneth, you kind of walk in because we're trying to keep the timing somewhere, in sync with each other. So you walk in there as you see Yildrin and Frit are just getting up from the corner. It looked like they were just having a conversation with the giant in the corner. You kind of look at that, but you also scan the room, and something catches your eye. You, in particular, Kenneth, that you don't know where you could place it, but there's a man sitting in one of the chairs who kind of also just happens to notice you. And when he notices you, he just kind of gives you like a
Oh,
Kinda
so
like-
let me look
like
at
one of
what you're
those.
doing. Hold on, let me see what you're doing. What are you doing?
man's. What's that?
I just switched back to Discord. So what was he doing? So I
Well,
didn't see what you...
as you walk in and you're kind of scanning the room after you saw, you're just surveying the rest of the room. You happen to notice a man who kind of like was looking at you, but when he looks at you, he's kind of like,
Like he recognizes me?
yeah, he kind of gives you one of those faces, like he looks puzzled.
Do I recognize him?
You strangely find him somewhat familiar also. You can't place it. He's kind of sitting by himself. He's kind of has like this like dark hair. He's got a tight knit beard, like a tight trimmed beard. Wearing robes like most other people. A little gray, like kind of like a darker gray robe with some purple, accents.
I once again
And
feel the
he's
searing, like
he's
a
just staring
spike
at
through
you,
my leg.
like almost as if he recognizes you. And
As
you
I-
feel like you
yeah.
recognize him.
This moment of disorientation.
Yeah.
Like this deja vu. This as you know, and it's like a searing pain for a moment.
Mhm.
I shake it off, and as I was approaching our group, I veer to the guy in the rear. It's like, do we know each other? I'm sorry to we look like we may know each other.
Well, that's funny.
I'm sorry.
You look familiar to me too.
May I ask your name, sir?
I am Azar. And
I'm
what
like
is your
clutching-
name?
I fall to my knees, like clutching my head.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes. Why do I know this name?
I don't
And
know.
yet I
You
am
mean you
Connor.
recognize me as well?
I recognize your name. I am Conneth Telemarth. I'm not even of this world. How do I know you?
I don't know. I'm here in Candlekeep. I am researching the art of evocation. I'm learning spells. I've gotten up to the point of where I can create fire.
Interesting. Well, I must introduce you to my group, my compatriots.
Ah,
Come.
well. He looks around and which direction?
Towards the.
Why
ogre,
don't we
I
just join them? Because we don't have a table currently.
think.
Well, unless we want to hang out with the ogre, he seems cool.
I mean, he's reading. That seems rude.
Look, I think this is how you get an ogre to join your party. And I hear
That's
a smart
true.
ogre at that. Like ogres are pretty good at smashing. I would not want to fight a smart ogre.
Is
They just know
Dote
how to
with us?
smash.
Okay. Is Dote with us? I mean, how many people are with us? I know
Dote's
Ildren
not.
and
No,
everyone.
Dote has not joined you.
It's just it's just me and Frit.
Don't
Right now it's just you and Fred.
But
So I guess you come over to the table with Connor.
Sure, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
leave our friend to read.
He looks at you, and you do not look familiar, and neither do you. But
I turned to the group and said, "I'd like you to meet Mazar. I feel, and yet, although we just met, I feel an odd kinship. Cannot explain it."
I cannot explain it as if I've known you for centuries, millennia. I don't know where.
I lean
how.
over.
I
leave
didn't even know your
lean over to
name, but
Fred.
somehow there seems.
I
to be
lean
a
over to
connection.
Frit and it's like humans.
human.
So, yeah.
Well, what brings you to Candlekeep?
You think if he's known him for centuries, that actually recognize him proper?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Like our
feeling.
souls.
I can't
We know each
explain it.
other
I
on a-
don't understand.
It's like
And
our
then,
souls
and then
know
Fritz
each
says
other.
that it's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm half human. Is that what you think?
Oh, I don't know. This goes
No, but
beyond being a human.
you've got a longer time frame than humans do. That's where I'm commenting from.
Well, I turn back to Mazarga to answer your question, and I say, well, we are here at the behest of a gentleman from. We were hired at Baldur's Gate to find a certain Matreus, who we believe is one of the seekers that is residing here. Have you heard of this man? Him,
Atreus? I think I heard of. I remember the little one might have been talking to someone 2 weeks ago, maybe?
the little one.
The little
Yeah, but he hasn't seen him since.
the little
Yeah,
one?
that was the friend that we just made.
The little one, the ogre?
It's
Okay.
You mentioned,
Ironic.
you mentioned
Yeah.
someone who was looking for looking at the works of interdimensional spaces. Did you say
Fistania, I believe.
Fistandia? Yes.
Fistania,
Oh, I've
yeah.
learned about her. Yes, she was a powerful mage.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interested in that subject. Yes, I've learned her in school.
Well, I introduce Ildrin and Frit, and I think we are trying to find Matreus. I do have a lead, and I explained, and I said, "Here, come here."
Yes.
So I come around, and Mazar, maybe you can help with this mystery.
Yes.
So it appears that our friend Matreus may still be here. He checked out a room in the pedagogy, and he never checked out.
It's interesting.
I was able to gain access to the room, and there I found a book with I believe written by Mordekainen. Are you familiar with the works of Mordekainen?
A little bit.
It's a book on the joys of extra-dimensional spaces,
Yes.
and although I don't profess to understand a single thing in the book, there was notes that were scribbled in the margins. I don't know whether they were created by Matreus or somebody prior who the Standia, apparently, that you mentioned, also uses the same room. And I show the what I wrote. Hopefully, it's an accurate.
Okay.
Can anybody decipher this? Here.
Well, okay. As a matter of fact, he starts reading through your shorthand. He goes, As a matter of fact, I commend you. You wrote this yourself?
I traced it.
Well, you did a good job. This
Well, thank you.
appears to be arcane shorthand. Apparently, there is a command word. This must be the writings of Fistandia herself. There is a command word in this, and the command word is scepter. I believe maybe that might have something to do with it. I don't know. A command word for what?
But a command
sure.
word. Now the page. Maybe you would be better to see the page that it was written on, because it's all I could tell you was written in the margins of a book called "The Joys of Extra-Dimensional Spaces." So,
Did you take down what page it was on?
Well, I left it where it was. So it should still
okay,
be the
fair.
original should still be in the
Maybe
book.
if we can get back to the room.
Yes.
Do you think they'll let us back in?
Maybe.
If you're asking me
I
to
did-
go with you, I appreciate the offer, but I have a lot of work to do, and I do not have time to go on an adventure. At least not yet. Maybe you could check back with me in another week or two, a 10 day or two.
But how about can I borrow your time for 20 minutes, simply to see if you could give us some idea of the nature of this the relation between what this command word might be and maybe the book. Could it be a command to open up an extra-dimensional space?
It appears that is what it would be for. So I would say that if you utter the word scepter, he looks around and doesn't see anything happening.
This may have something to do with the room itself.
Well,
The room
that would
itself
be
was,
a good guess. A good guess.
yeah. I turn to the group and I say, well, the reason I think it's and I explain why I think it might be this room. This room was specifically requested by Atreus. It had been used by the Standia, who also specifically only used this room. So, as to the exclusion of all other rooms. So, and the the keeper or the clerk had no could not tell me any reason why that room would be special. So it's possible that that maybe there's a magical working on this room, especially coupled with the fact that Maitreus has not checked out of it.
I think you're onto something, Cunning.
Why don't we all go?
Yeah.
Why don't we all go?
Connor,
Before-
because
yeah.
Little One told me that the only thing that Maitreus seemed to be interested in was in Fistania's books. So,
Mm.
yeah.
So how about we want to all run back to? We'll take a quick walk over to the halls of pedagogy or whatever it's called.
Sure. Let's go get Dote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's just quickly shoot over to Dote. I know it's getting late.
Yeah.
But so Dote, the man actually comes about earlier. He says, "As a matter of fact, yes, there was a Maitreus here. I see that you're waiting patiently, and I was able to find him. There was a Maitreus here who, about 3 weeks ago, took out a book called The Joys of Extradimensional Spaces."
Do you have context for? Do you have more information on the book?
Well, it is a book written by a. Well, I don't know who wrote it actually. Let's see. Let me take a look. I didn't write down who wrote it. I apologize who the author was, but it was a book. Well, it focused on, from my understanding, one of the spells of the great wizard Mordenkainen. Something to do with what's the spell? The mansion.
Scepter?
The tiny hut.
Oh.
Not the tiny hut.
North
Mordenkainen
Leoman.
had a spell.
Mordenkainen's.
Hang on a second. I'll tell you in a second.
Is it the mansion, the
Yeah,
magnificent
that
mansion?
magnificent mansion.
Yeah, Mordenkainen's.
That was it. Sorry about it.
Right.
It was a spell about the It had to do with Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion, and that's all I could tell you. Apologize if that is not enough information.
Can I roll Arcana?
You could roll Arcana.
History? Okay.
Sure. All right.
What's going on about Mordecai?
You know a little bit about Mordenkainen. He was, kind of like what I mentioned before, which your character wasn't there for, but essentially he was very powerful. Made his own spells. One of them being the Magnificent Mansion, which is basically kind of like a larger version of Leoman's tiny hut, and much more majestic. You can create an actual mansion to live in as an extra-dimensional space. You're not really, you're, I wouldn't say that you are currently adept at the arcane, but you just seem to know about this from history and things that you've learned.
Okay.
In fact, the works of extra-dimensional spaces are prevalent. In fact, when you say that, when he tells you about this stuff, the binder guy over there, he kind of says, well, extra-dimensional spaces are prevalent here in Candlekeep. Check out the hearth. You'll be impressed.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Thank you for your help, and I walk away.
Very welcome. Okay. All right. Before we end it here, is there any last thing you guys would like to do?
I guess I'll head to the hearth, because that's where I assume...
Whoops. Rolled the thing.
All
Yeah,
right.
we probably cross into each other on the way because we're going to get you.
Okay, so out in the courtyard, you do cross paths and bump into each other.
I guess we exchange all our information.
Okay.
Like a bad car crash.
Catch everybody up.
All right. So you're all up to date now as to what's been going on. So Dote, they tell you about what they've learned. Apparently, Maitreus has been researching some of the work of another mage, relatively powerful mage, who was interested in extra-dimensional spaces. Coneth had checked out the room that Maitreus, checked into, I guess, at the Pillars of Pedagogy, and found a book, the book that that the binder was master binder, we'll call him. So,
Master binder.
Got it.
It's like Maz's last name.
that's right. One of his last names. I've toned it down since then. The master binder. Okay. Sorry.
That one got you.
I don't know why. All right. Anyway, so where was I? So anyway, it corroborates the story. So basically, that book was the Book of Extradimensional Spaces. Maitreya has been researching it. Kind of found shorthand, arcane shorthand, wrote it down, came to the hearth, met Mazar. Mazar just happens to be somebody who's a seeker at the moment, just looking for his own research, and had determined that there is a command word that Fistandia must have written down, or somebody must have written down. Maybe it was Maitreya's. We don't know whose handwriting that is. But the command word is scepter.
Okay.
Okay. Where are you headed to before we leave? For the
I
night?
guess back to his room, Matthias'
Yeah.
room, and
All right.
the pillars of
Yeah.
pedagogy.
Okay,
Yeah.
you head back to the front gate, or the house, I guess, which is kind of like a gateway to the Pillars of Pedagogy. And there's the elf, looks up at you, kind of, oh, back so soon?
Yes, we believe we have an idea of solve the mystery of the missing Maitreus.
Ah,
May we have an escort back to the room again?
okay, I guess we could do that. So the escort just kind of like, sends you to the room, and he says, you know something, why don't you go into the room, and if you need anything, just let us know. You seem a good fellow, and
I'm gonna insight
with
this.
good intentions. I see you have your whole party here.
He's just tired. He's like at the end of his shift,
Yeah, pretty much.
He just wants to go eat. It's like, you can
just
go
go
in
right ahead.
and-
You don't need us. It's okay.
Next
You know,
guy.
you,
Stay
you,
put.
you know where to go
Stay
now, right?
put, Yeah.
Mr. Fighter.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Fighter.
To wear my
Don't
chainmail.
you don't get any impression from this. He's just.
I'll give him a
The only thing you'll
bow.
say is he seems a little tired, and he kind of wants to maybe go home. It's
Yeah,
getting.
I'll give him a bow. Yeah,
What's that?
and I thank you for your service, and I
Okay.
give him a tip.
Ah, that'd be good. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give him.
Don't forget to take it out of your character sheet.
compliment.
You might be nice to him, and he might be, thankful. But you should take it out of your character sheet. Okay.
I was gonna see if Cuddy got mad if I give him a silver. It's like Z's wages for like a year for one of the other campaigns.
He'd really lose his shit if you gave him a gold.
That's right.
Okay. So
I mean, you've already spent 2 gold on a sheep recently, apparently. So
Well, but that ogre might come back to help us, and then I'll be able to say I told you so. So,
All right.
those are
So-
investments.
all right, you make it up to the room. You
Yeah.
open the door. You come through. Your door closes, and there it is, the book on the table. And what we will do is we will stop it here.
Yes.
And let me end the.
Yeah.
Hopefully this recording came out good.
Yeah.